Right. Okay, folks, we are streaming again because I got this working last night. There's a brief video about it, but this isn't the only one I've got. If I just pull these, well, if I just unlock it, pull it, then this is the only set of fans I've got with 47 ohm resistors. So I'm going to take them out. And I'm going to get a set of fans that are unmodified from another server. So we have these unmodified ones, and the modified ones have got 47R on them. So these are unmodified. And I'm going to fit them in. If I can slide that in. Oop. That's one. 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to put the lid back on to stop the chassis intrusion. Can't get my words out. Chassis intrusion warning. There we go. So that's now down and on, and we've got power. So if we listen, this is going to ramp right up. It's actually not that loud compared to what I thought it was, but it's a little bit too loud even for me. Under load that would soon ramp up. So we'll turn that up. And we will swap, if I can get them back out, these 4. It's where to stack them. Back for the 47R modified fans. Remember that? It's the dog. Hunty. This isn't going in, this last one. Really doesn't want to go in. Why is that? That was a bit out of place. There we go. And put the lid back on. Again, to stop it ramping up because of the intrusion alarm. Okay. Now, that is already a lot quieter That is about as loud as it gets as well, which is quite good. The reason it doesn't get any louder is because I've modified the BMC to stop it ramping up if we get too low, which I'll show you in a moment on the DRAC on the screen. For now though, I'm going to take these fans back out of here because they are the only modded ones, and the server that I pulled these fans from I'm going to plonk here, and we're going to mod exactly as we modded this one. To do this mod, we're going to need CentOS live CD 32-bit edition, so x86 or i386 as they list it, and you need to burn that to a DVD. I did try this with a USB stick. It didn't work. It just didn't like it off the USB stick. So we need a DVD R to write it to. There are other brands than this one available, obviously. This server has 3 GB of RAM in it. That's something I mentioned before, but the other server has none. I'm going to put these sticks in it, so not those two. These are some of the mismatched pairs I had in them before. They're different values, so they're different sets, different values. These are 4 GB sticks of PC2 5300F, 555 MHz. I'm sure they should have been 667, but they're 555, so whatever. So there's nothing in this one. This one's off. I'll turn that back off. That's the RAM. We're going to get these fans out. The fans are hot plugged, so I'm not worried about the power. Though it's really not on. The difference between this server and the one I'm going to pick up in a moment as well is that this has 2 processors. That doesn't affect the volume. This is still really loud without the mod. So this is stock 27, blah blah blah. Take the VGA keyboard out the front, take the power and the DRAC network out the back, and I'm going to move this. And here is the other server, or one of the others. This is the one that came with only 1 CPU. There's one here, there should be one there. There isn't, and there's no RAM in it right now. And its case is here. So on the front we just have a CD. Actually have some dry blankets in this one, but that won't make any difference as well. That's just the front panel I took off. So, first things first, let's lift this up. It's never going to work, never mind. Let's actually start with the RAM. So we have, it's a HP stick, or was a HP stick. Maybe that's going to focus. Focus? No. Anyway. It's in slot 1. This one's going in slot 3, I believe. Might be slot 5. Either way, don't copy me. Read your manual. Always read your manual. I'm not really bothered about the optimum memory setup right now. This box of the 3, it doesn't have damage at the rear. but it only has one processor. I've got to pull a processor from the machine that's all dented and fit it in here, so that will be another video that I perform. You gotta make sure this is back down, and just to let you know, the dog who's on the bed over there, he's farted. So these are the 47 ohm resistors, and we'll actually have a listen to what the server does without this on. Even with the modified fans, it will ramp them right up. They aren't little jet engines, they are maybe a distant hovercraft, but always the last one doesn't want to go in well with it. Don't know quite, there we go, what the problem is. So we're all clear. Putting the lid on. And I'm plugging in the DRAC. And I'm plugging in 1, 2 powers. They're in, but it claims to have a problem. No, problem's gone off, that's fine. So we've got VGA, and we've got the keyboard. So, let's have a listen. While I'm here with this one on. Okay, so the fans have got quiet, and we're going to have a listen. The fans will drop to, well, we'll have a look, but the ones I had were dropping down to about 1600 RPM, and what was happening was they were then causing an error. Yeah, there we go, RPM error. See? So even modified, that's quite loud. With unmodified fans, that screams. Okay? 192, 168, 833 for the track, but we don't care. I've got the CD drive open. I'm going to put CentOS 32-bit in, and I'm going to retry boot. There's actually a floppy drive in this one as well. Nothing in it, but there is a floppy drive. A quote. This is a Model 2. I think they're all Model 2s, but this one happens to have a 2.5-inch drive bay. It's not 3.5 inch. It doesn't make any difference. So this is coming up. I actually need to open a browser window now, because the instructions I found on a really good blog, which I will link in the description below. It's the blog post by Martin Denizet. Sorry, can't say it. Sorry, Martin. But he's an SMB IT specialist. Other things I'm going to do, I'm actually going to modify another set of these fans, and I'm going to try a lower resistor value. That hasn't booted off the CD. So DVD, CD, doesn't say whether it's a CD or a DVD. If it's not a DVD, it's not going to read a DVD, and I'll need to swap the drive, which is probably not what I planned for right now. But of course I do have the third server over there. It's on the floor over here. Whoa, I think it's dirty touching this one. Let's try RDE CD-ROM drive. It is a CD-ROM drive then. That's a shame. That kind of ruins this. Oh no. Media test failure, media. Okay. Let's just have a look. Is that going to come out easily? I've no idea. I've never took one of these out, folks. So how do you even get it out? Gonna move? It isn't gonna move. Let me at least get my CD out of it. My DVD out of it. Ah, there we go. So, a bit dirty. A bit dirty. That needs cleaning up before I put it anywhere else. You just clean it down. So these were in pretty good shape before I got them. They weren't terrible, but they have been in a production environment, so you know they're dirty. But that is just unknown what that is. I'm going to just get the other one. Well, that's bad. The other one only has a CD, so this is the only DVD that I have. Okay, so I only have one CD DVD for these. So this has come out of the one we saw modified a minute ago. It's actually a bit cleaner in places. So I'm going to put this back in. No. Yes, we are. And we're going to plug this in here. And we're going to plug this back in here. That's engaged. That's engaged. So only one DVD. I've got 2 CD drives, only one DVD. That's going to make installing these a pain. We'll see. So, power's still on. Disk is out. Let's see if that backplane works with the DVD drive. It's entering setup. So we only have one 2 GHz quad-core processor. We do have 8 GB of RAM, so that RAM's good. Pieces on the way. And set the draft up. Setting that draft and back. Set the save changes. Boot sequence. ID CD-ROM device. First. Virtual CD-ROM. Second. Copy drive. Virtual copy drive. Whatever. Okay. Okay. Let's see if this now can let us boot CentOS. If it doesn't, this video is ended already. Ended prematurely because I did not foresee these not being DVD drives. I didn't even look at what they were. So, yeah, remote, yeah. Ethernet card coming up. Metal, fingers smell quite metallic now. That's what it smells. Yeah, that's got it, that's fine. So we're in CentOS, we press escape and we want text mode. Okay, just move this hard drive. It's a good hard drive. See more clearly what's going on. Sorry, I'm just moving the lamp. It might get a little bit darker, but I've moved the lamp. Okie dokie. So yeah, this is the 32-bit version of CentOS again, and just booting off the DVD. It fills up. The DVD, I'll be honest, it sounded almost like I had a hard drive in there the other day. It really confused me. This box, when I finish completely modifying it, this one is going to perhaps be a logon server. It's got a single quad core, not the 2 at the moment. This is the RAM I'm going to leave it equipped with, I think. And it's going to sit as a jump server for getting to other things and other bits and bobs. Anyway, live CD login. The login is root. So we are now on, and we can just list everything. There's not a lot in there, post install log, bits and bobs. So I'm just bringing up the stuff I need to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use yum to install something. So sudo yum install, and we're installing free IPMI, and then free IPMI-tools, and then open IPMI, open IPMI, and then open IPMI tools, sorry, IPMI tools, and then we need to make sure we've got Python, which is going to run the script, and we definitely need wget, and we need to make sure we've got RPM. Now, as far as I remember, the live CD just installs the IPMI stuff. We've already got Python, wget, and RPM, so we should be fine with them. Couldn't retrieve. Oh, of course, sorry. I've got the DRAC plugged in, not the Ethernet. Let me plug that into an Ethernet port. There we go. Yeah, we are pinging BBC.co.uk. Yeah, that works. Just get back up to the yum install. There we go, it's downloading now. My bad. So it's just updating the primary DP. I mean, we're bringing down 4K and then 4 megabits. If you had to do this some other way, it's not a lot of data. So 8 meg, yes. Do you want to install these things? Yes. So that's pulling down 3 IPMI i686. So the big problem I had with the software, I did it with Ubuntu, with Fedora, with a couple of others. I could never get the i686C STD C++ lib to work properly. It just didn't install, it didn't work. Just a problem. This does it automatically. I didn't have a problem with CentOS, and I only found this out after going through 20 or 30 replies on one of the many different places saying to use this. So these are installed, that's done. So the next step is to get the actual BMC firmware from Dell. Again, this was a URL not pointed out, so we're just going to wget, and it's http://downloads.dell.com/esm/ and then it's capital BMC underscore FRMW underscore LX underscore R202152.bin. If I've not typed that right, I'm going for the right folder. There we go. So this is now down in my screen. Have to make it runnable. So sudo chmod +x star.bin. It's now green. It's runnable. It's as simple as that. There's no need to get over the top with other stuff. The post that I'm following had this said I and a whole bunch of, stuff. I'm not really bothered. It's fine. So now we need to make a directory. So we're making it with sudo mkdir bmc. That's the fans ramping up because it's getting warm. We're doing something. And now we need to run this bin file in that directory. So sudo start.bin --extract to BMC. These have to match. So that's going to hopefully extract that now into that directory. And these will calm back down as it cools back off. There we go. cdbmc, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in there now. We're in that directory. So the next thing to get is the actual adjust script. So sudo wget http:// projects dot, and this is where I struggle, muschKYS.net /downloads /Dell just fan thresholds.py. It's a Python script. There we go, got it. It's actually 26k, so it's not huge. I'd love to have a look through it at some point. And we need to make that runnable. So sudo chmod +x /py. And we can now see the Dell adjust fan threshold py is runnable. And we're going to run it as root. So sudo Dell-adjust fan thresholds.py. Have I forgotten a step? Don't think so. Oh, firmware. Yeah, sorry. So I'm running sudo Dell-adjust fan thresholds.py space, and then we're going into the payload directory, which is this directory here in blue, payload BMC flash. So payload / BMC FLSH.dat. So this is the firmware being extracted and played about with by that script. Okay, it's going to take this amount of time. It was just this speed on a single core as a multi-core. It's using a single thread. The final bit now, we have these options. Number one, Poweredge 2900. Number two is an unknown BLRC. Number three is the Poweredge 2950 with 6 fans. And you're thinking, where are the 6? There are these 4, but there are 2 in the power supply. I haven't modified any of them yet, but since I have now 6 power supplies, I will be modifying them, and I have the soldering iron ready to do it, and some more resistors. So we're going for 3. All the rest you can look at yourself, but there's Poweredge 1900, code GNS, code BULN, code FT. So we're going for number 3. So we select 3. And we now have fan 1 sensor, threshold 2025, fan 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So what do you do now? Well, you have to select each fan. So select number 1, and 27 equals 2025. So 27 equals this number. What number am I modifying them to? I've picked 22, which comes out as 1650, I believe, so 22. So it now says 1650. If you're not sure, you can go 1 and we can try 24, 1800. Now I know that this fan, number 4, generally gets down to 1800, and so it will kick up and run quickly. So I'm not going as close as that. I'm going to 23 is 1725. It's a bit too close. So I'm going to 22 on them all. So 2, 22, 2, 22, 3, 22, 4, 22, 5, 22, 6, 22. They're all now minimum threshold 1650. And the next thing you do is you write this back to that BMC flash.dat file. That's writing all that back to that file. Now they don't want you to be warned you can break your machine. I'm warning you now. Up to this point, nothing has been altered, nothing has been destroyed. You've soldered your fans, and that's about it. You cannot break this board doing this bit. From this point on, beware, you can break your machine. So the next step is to actually run that, and we're going to flash it. So sudo ld library, sudo _ library _ path equals, and we have to go local directory happy happy /op /del /dup /lib, and we add that back to semicolon $ld library path. So that's telling me the library path. The program we're going to run is the BMC FL32L, which is the BMC flash directory, and we're going to tell it the I equals payload / BMC FLSH.dat, and I believe if I just scroll over, we have to force that. So baseboard management control version utility, please wait while Disney blah blah blah. So it's worried about that. Do you wish to flash? Proceed with flash, yes or no? So I'm going from version 1.77 to version 2.37, but they are fan modified, and I'm going to go yes. And it's twirling away a little process icon. There we go. So this will rejigger everything. There's the fans quietening right down. It's erasing the ROM, and it's writing the new ROM. 10%. It pauses every so often there. 13% it paused. %, it paused. 40% it's paused. So halfway. it's not even a real pause, it's literally just, and it carries on. So these fans are running still quite fast. So you couldn't live with that all the time. That would drive me crazy if it was doing this. 81% paused, 88, 89, 90, 92, 93, 94, and we're done. Checking revision. The fans also just shut the fuck up automatically there. There they are, ramping back up. So we're going to reboot this now. So sudo shutdown -r now. It's going down. I'm going to pull this out the Ethernet now and plug it back in the DRAC. There it goes into the DRAC. And I'm going to get the DRAC up on the screen. So this is now going to boot. We'll watch it boot back into CentOS. So we're nice and quiet. So what I can hear, and I don't know if the camera can pick it up, is the fans whir, and you can hear maybe the two by the processor. They do swirl. It isn't silent. I'm not sure if this microphone's picking it up. It isn't silent, but it's a hell of a lot quieter than it was. I could happily run two of these in the room with me while I worked. If I got headphones on the music, so be it. So stop the automatic boot. We'll just do a normal boot actually. I didn't come up in the GUI. So let me now just change my scene. Let's turn the camera off. Turn the monitor on. Hello monitor. And that should be on. There we go. So you can now see my screen. This is the blog I was following. Martin Dinetz. So he's done all these bits and bobs. I think he's actually changed his fans. I don't know. They're quite dirty, those fans. Mine are clean. He's done all sorts of bits and bobs here to each thing. I've only modified the red wire. But we'll see. So these are the steps I followed, which we'll go into in a bit more depth. So I did sudo apt-get install free IPMI, free IPMI-tools, open IPMI, open tools, Python wget IPM. You can then run IPMI sensors, and that will show you the sensors that are there to be done. I then wget this bin file. I didn't do this line, it wasn't needed. I just made the bin file executable with +x, created a root directory, and then extracted the firmware into that directory, changed into that directory to see it. Then I downloaded the new scripts from Nakuski. I will link all this below. Big props to obviously Martin here and to the chap that wrote this fancy extract and change script. It's very good. Then I made that script executable, but I used +x. I then ran it on the payload BMC flash to that. This is the key bit. So running that script on that payload. You of course can take a copy of the payload first. The second, that was all done then through that process of selecting which fans, selecting the speed. The speed I selected was 22, which turns into 1650 RPM. Then I ran this library path BMC flash with that payload and forced it to make it flash back. This actually says you can do this other script here below, but that's basically the same. It is exactly the same, I believe. If you get this error, type set not found, run the same script, sudo ld path blah 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 bmc flash 32 payload BMC flash dash F. You see that they're the same. Whoever wrote Martin, when you wrote this, they are the same. So strange. Anyway, we will now. I can't remember what I was going to do. Oh yes, we're going to show you the DRAC, aren't I? Duh. So 192.168.8 dot. Christ knows what it was. 183 was it? No. Let's open my Wi-Fi network map and have a look at what it is. Network map. That is it. Remote access controller. Device info. 1193. Is it? Is it not there? 192.161.193. 193. No. 1.193. Actually, that's the other server. So that isn't right. We need to just flick back to the server, I think. Let me turn the camera on, turn the monitor off. Just power it off. I can take the DVD ROM out now. I won't need that again until I install it, but I might install this one over a network, so I don't need to worry about that. I want to get to the remote access controller, so I will wait for the control E message. There we go. Get you. Come on, Ethernet, out the way. There we go. LAN parameters, static, and I'm editing this to 192.168.1.251, and this is 1.1. 192.168.1.251, and the dog has trumped again, everybody. He's down there on the floor trumping away. Okay, so we'll swap back to the monitor, and hopefully now we'll have 192.1.251. It is on. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Yep, advanced. So I've never connected this before, there's no certificate, so we're going to continue to go on safe. And the password is DRAC and DRAC for me. And here we are. So it's a Poweredge 2950. Its BIOS is out of date. It's the same tag as that. You can look it up if you want. It's a D1TKD3J. That is the single processor quad core machine that I've got. So we have a DRAC, and we're going to go to fans, and here they are. So there we go. I hope you can read that. Let me scroll down. So reading is currently this, minimum is 1650 now. It defaults to 2250, something like that. So it would have been firing with this one already. So they're all running different bits and bobs. I mean, they're the 4 system fans. Obviously, on the system itself, we did edit the power fans as well. So I don't know if they've actually got some presence detected, PS2 status AC, so they're okay. Both of them aren't actually shown on there for some reason, but they are fine. We need to monitor the temperatures for some time. So I've got a maximum 47, minimum of 8, so maximum 42. Threshold warning. So the failure of 47 will turn it off. It's never going to get colder as cold as 3 degrees centigrade. So I'm currently halfway. I've never seen it change. We're going to go now and leave this alone. I will blog this all up and post it all up, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it.